Once upon a time, in a little village, there lived a sweet girl who was loved by everyone. But of all who loved her, her grandmother cherished her the most. One day, as a token of her affection, the grandmother gifted her a beautiful red velvet hood. "Come here, dear," her grandmother said with a warm smile. "I've made something special for you." The little girl gasped. "Oh, is it a red hood?" "Yes, a beautiful red hood for a beautiful little girl," her grandmother replied. The little girl beamed with joy. "I love it. From now on, I'd like to be called Little Red Riding Hood." From that day forward, she wore the hood everywhere, and it became her name. One morning, her mother called out to her, "Little Red Riding Hood." "Yes, Mommy," she answered. "Take this basket and visit your grandmother. She's feeling ill and needs some delicious food to feel better." The mother handed her a basket filled with a freshly baked cake, a savoury roast, and some eggs. "But remember," she warned, "go straight to Grandma's house. Do not stray from the path. It can be dangerous. Promise me you'll listen." "I promise, Mom. I won't stray." And with that, Little Red Riding Hood set off through the woods. She marvelled at the beauty of the forest, its bright flowers and clear springs. But little did she know, a sly wolf lived in those very woods, and he was watching her every move. "Hello there, Little Red Riding Hood," said the wolf, stepping out from the shadows. "Well, hello, Mr. Wolf," she replied, not knowing to be afraid. "Where are you off to so early in the morning?" he asked with a cunning grin. "To my grandmother's house. She's not feeling well," Little Red Riding Hood said proudly. The wolf's eyes glimmered with mischief. "And where does your grandmother live?" "Much deeper into the woods," she explained. "Her house is behind the 3 old oaks." The wolf smirked, forming a devious plan. "You know, I'm heading that way too. Why don't we walk together?" Unaware of the danger, Little Red Riding Hood happily agreed. As they walked, the wolf cleverly distracted her. "Why don't you pick some flowers for your grandmother? She'd love them." "That's such a kind idea, Mr. Wolf," she said, and began gathering flowers. While Little Red Riding Hood wandered, the wolf raced ahead to Grandma's house. Knocking on the door, he disguised his voice. "It's me, Grandma. I've brought you some food." "Come in, my dear. I'm too weak to get up," the grandmother called. The wolf burst in, and with a loud growl, he swallowed her whole. Then, putting on her bonnet, he climbed into her bed, waiting for Little Red Riding Hood. When the little girl arrived, she noticed the door was ajar. Nervously, she stepped inside. "Good morning, Grandma," she called, but no one answered. As she approached the bed, she noticed something odd about her grandmother. "Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my dear," the wolf said in a gruff voice. "And what big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with, my dear." "But Grandma, what big hands you have." "All the better to hug you with, my dear." Finally, she exclaimed, "Grandma, what big teeth you have." The wolf grinned wickedly. "All the better to eat you with." And with that, he leaped out of bed and swallowed her whole. Satisfied, the wolf lay down and fell into a deep sleep. But his loud snoring attracted the attention of a passing hunter. "Grandma must be snoring very loudly today," the hunter thought, peeking inside. Instead of Grandma, he found the wolf lying in bed. "Aha, I've been looking for you, you wicked creature," the hunter said. But before harming the wolf, he suspected that the grandmother might still be alive. Taking his scissors, the hunter carefully cut open the wolf's belly, and out came Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother, safe and unharmed. "Thank you, Mr. Hunter," they both cried. Then together they filled the wolf's belly with fruits and stitched it back up. When the wolf woke, he felt so heavy and slow that he ran off deep into the forest, never to be seen again. Day on, Little Red Riding Hood promised, "I will never stray from the path again and will always listen to my mother." And so, they lived happily ever after,